Hello guys, welcome to ADB Tech channel. Today we are going to talk about Spring Boot project structure and we'll implement H2 database and even Swagger also we can implement to our application. Okay, if we see our agenda, so create Spring Boot application and add H2 database and data JPA dependencies to our application and Spring Boot project structure. We see we'll separate model classes, controller, service, repository classes, separately actually. And how to configure H2 database console, we can see that, and adding Swagger documentation to our application. So this is our main agenda today. So let's start with our application. So let me open. So my So I just created an entertainment app actually. It's a Spring Boot app actually. So if we see our dependencies, first of all, okay. So we have actuator, okay, and the starter web. And I just commented dev tools, but I can show you how it will work dev tools. And if you say starter data JPA and H2 database, okay. This is the in-memory database. So we'll see in our upcoming videos like how to connect with MySQL DB or Oracle, okay. And I just commented here Swagger documentation dependencies, but we can enable this. So, okay. So these are right now we are just added no, starter web and data JPA and H2 database. Okay. So and in our application properties, so if you see I have added server.port and this is my server.servlet context path. So my REST API will call with this URI, okay, slash API. And below we have H2 database configurations actually. So this is like spring.h2.console.enabled. If you make it this property as a true, then it will enable H2 console. Then we should provide so JDBC data source URL and console path. I'm just giving like this. You can give any name here, and you can give driver class name and username password and the database platform. It's a dialect actually. And here I just made this H2 console settings trace is false, but I can enable this and what will happen I can show you. So now here, right, if I go to the main class, our main class, right? So like I can show you the project structure, we can talk about it. In the application project, right, you can see we have Java and resource test folders actually, okay? If I open Java folder, if I see com.example, this is a package name, right? So my main class file is under com.example, but I have separate packages for each and every classes. Actually, if you see, this is config folder for configuration purpose. So any Swagger configurations or any OAuth security configurations, we can do this configuration files and all. We can create under config for package. And if you see in the controller package, we can create our REST controllers. And in the model, we can create our entities. So I just created two entities here, movie and music. Okay. And if we see the repository, so I just created one repository right now, movie repository. It is created under repository package, and we have service package also. Here we will implement our main logic, core logic. I can show you how I did this. Okay. So and before going for that, right, so main class is under com.example package, right? So remaining and all in a different package names. So what we need to do is we have to use component scan like this com.example dot star. So it means after com.example any package folder names are there, it automatically scan those files under those packages. So that we need to take care of it, otherwise the bean won't create. Okay. So this is one thing. And let me open my model class. So I have created one movie entity. You can see, right, I just defined entity and I have created some columns like ID and name, which language of the movie, and type, it's action or like a different kind of genres, right? And the rating is like out of 5, what is the rating of this movie, and the image URL we can provide it. So why I'm creating this kind of model is so in future, okay, these REST services we can integrate with some Angular application that we can see in our in our upcoming videos. But at present, you can see this is the model I have created. Okay, so remaining getter and setter methods would be there here in this model class. So this is an entity. Okay, so I created one entity. Now I'll create one, controller. So movie rest controller I have created. You can see that in movie rest controller. So I'm defining an auto-wired object. So movie service. If I go to movie service, so this I defined this interface which will contain some methods. Okay, so you can see one welcome MSG message and get movies. It will give you the list of movies released, right? And get movie by ID. So if you pass any ID, so it will give you that movie name details and insert movie. So you wanted to insert new movie or you wanted to save some new records, right? So we can use this insert movie method. So for this interface I have an implemented class as well. I can open that implemented class. This will be under service package. Okay, so my movie service IMPL. Okay, so I'm implementing movie service. So here I just implement override those methods and you can see here, right? And here one more thing is I have no auto-wide movie repository. So what is this movie repository? It's a data GPA, right? Which I told you, right? So we need to create one repository. Okay. So if you see this interface, this is the repository we are using, and it extends JPA repository. Otherwise, you can use CRUD repository. Anything you can use. What it will do, it will give by default methods like inserting the records or getting the records. These methods and all by default it will provide you, but you wanted to create any external methods, you can do that as well. Okay, so this JPA repository, I'm not doing any external methods right now, so I'm using the by default methods which JPA repository is going to provide. So my entity is movie and the primary key is integer, right? So that's why I give integer here. This is my repository. So in my movie service IMPL class, if you see, so this is welcome message, so I'm just returning some string value. Okay, I'm not doing anything, any database operations here. But if you see insert movie, right? So what I'm doing, so my movie repository object, by using this I'm saving the movie. You can see, right? I'm passing movie here. So then I'm returning movie incident successfully, the message I'm returning. And the same way, get movie by ID. So we have a, a method called find by ID. You can see here, right? The ID I'm passing here. So that's how you can get the movie. So these and all predefined methods, which is provided by data GPA. Okay. And even get movies, right? We have repo.find all. So it will give all the movies list in the table. Okay. So this is how we can create a repository, and we can create on service interface that implemented classes here. You can add multiple methods, whatever the methods you want here. Okay. If you want to delete one movie, right? You can add one more method here. That implementation, you can write it here. So that's how we can do it. So in our REST controller, what we will do, we will auto-wire our service, interface. So you can see, right, save movie. I'm just making one post mapping here, and you can see save movie, right? Here I'm calling this service dot insert movie. So this is the my implemented method. I'm passing this. So service methods I'm calling. So because we are just segregating the business logics, I mean database logics in the service classes, and in the controller we won't have any business logic here. We are just invoking that service methods here. Okay, the database logic and all will be there in service class. So this will invoke the repositories. Okay, that's how we have to segregate in Spring Boot project structure actually. Okay, so this is like the basic example, but even one more thing you can see right here, I have added a logger here. So what it will do, we can add log info. So this which method we are under? Okay, it is inside save movie action card. Okay, it's in movie rest controller, so it will show you like that the message. I can show you how it will show. Even if it is in service method, it will show like this inside get movie service. Okay, the service class name it will show actually service IMPL. Okay, so this is how we have to implement the REST services. And the other thing is here for H2 database, right? I already talked about it, right? Internet in memory database I'm using here. So in the resource, what we need to do is we should create two files here. So one is schema.sql. So in the schema.sql, what you need to do, just create the table of the entity, which the entity you wanted to store, right? So I wanted to create movie. So that's what I'm doing here in the schema.sql. And the other one is data.sql. So you have to insert some values into the table, right? You can use those queries here. So you should add the same, naming parameter here, schema.sql and data.sql. So it automatically, Spring Boot will create for you, like while the application is getting started. Okay. So the other thing we should do is we should add these commands actually. Okay, these attributes in the application.properties. Okay, so now let me start this application. Okay, so you can see here, right? So H2 console is available with this path. Okay, H2 console, and yeah, our application is started now. So if I go to UI, okay, so you can see, right, localhost 8090. This API is my URI path I have given in the application.properties. So H2 console is my path. If I click this, so this is our H2 database. Okay, so here you should give JDBC URL which you provide in the application.properties. I can show you here. So this is the path we just gave URL, right? So this you need to add there, and my password is password. So I'm just giving this here. Okay, if you connect here, right? So you can see my table got created here. You can see movie. Okay, if I run this, so there is no records because the insertion is not happened. It's fine. We can do through our REST API. Okay, so now, so let me go and invoke. I can show you that controller first. So if you wanted to insert any record, right, you should invoke insert movie. Okay, so let me go to Postman. So before inserting some values, I'm just calling some default welcome method, right? So you can see, right, it is just giving some method. Welcome to Spring Boot services, right? And if I go to the post method, what I have to do is I'll go back to the here. So this insert movie post method, right? It will accept application.json format of the movie object. Okay. So while you are invoking this method, right, as a post in the body, you should make it a JSON. Okay. And you should give the JSON object here. So I just gave here ID, name, language, type, rate, and image URL. Okay. So I am not pasting the image URL, but we can provide any image URL. Okay. That I can show you maybe in the future videos. Okay. So if I click this, okay, now we can again check here. So in the H2 console, we don't see any data, right? If I invoke this API, so movie inserted successfully. Okay. Now if I go to H2 console again, if I run this, you can see the record, right? So record has been added here. So this is how we can verify it. Okay. The in-memory DB console. Okay. And how to fetch the data, you can see, right, there is a one more API I created, get movies. This is a get method, right? If I click this, you can see here. Okay, and by ID we can do here, this is ID is one, right? If I click this, it will give, but we'll insert one more record with two. Maybe this is, we can say something else. So Avengers English, so action, right? So this is simple, I just give. So if I click, if I invoke this API, again record got inserted. We can verify here. So you can see, right, second record got inserted here, Avengers. So now if I go to the get movies method, so what it will provide it will give you all the records. You can see here we have first record and we have second record as well. And if I go to the by ID, right? So if I give two, then you can see the Avengers, right? It's by ID it will give you. So this is how we can integrate the H2 database here, and the console also we can enable. So now, so we'll talk about dev tools. Okay, so what is the main advantage of dev tools? So let me enable this dev tools dependency here. Okay, so before enabling this, right, let me show you. For example, you wanted to change something in the REST controller, right? I wanted to remove this. I don't want this. So now If you click this, you can see there is, it's not restarting automatically. It's not recompiling. Okay. We have to stop it and we have to manually rebuild this application. So, but in if you enable these dev tools, you can see automatically it's rebuilds. I can show you that. Let me stop this server. Okay. Yeah. Let me enable. Yep. So I just enabled dev tools now. Okay. So now let me build this. You can run as one install. You can do. Yeah. Build is done. So let me start the application again. Yeah. Application is started. So now if I hit, for example, which method I just updated, we'll see this. So this is save movie, right? I just removed that command. So let me go and hit that. Save movie again. Yep. So inside insert movie service, right? And you can see save movie action called. This is our REST controller, correct? So now, for example, I wanted to add some more message, maybe some symbols, for example. I'm just adding some, if I save this, you can see here, it automatically recompiling, right? Restarting the application again. So this is the, now if I click this move insert, then you can see the change, right? So this is the main advantage of DevTools. So it automatically rebuilds and restart the server actually. That is the main advantage of DevTools, dependency in Spring Boot. So this is one concept. So now we can go and enable the Swagger, documentation. So normally Swagger, why we are using in, Spring Boot or any other, REST services, right? So we are creating backend services, but if you wanted to test that, what we need to do, we have to use it Postman. Otherwise, we have to integrate our services with, any other application or any third-party applications, right? But before doing that, we should have some documentation purpose, right? Like where we can see the what are the methods we have in our application, what are the REST services, and the way we can easily test those services. Okay, for those kind of purpose, we can use Swagger. So for enabling Swagger, right, we should add some two dependencies here. I can just enable this. You can see that. So Spring Fox Swagger 2 and Spring Fox Swagger UI. These two dependencies we should enable it. Okay, so Swagger UI we need to add it. So now let me save this. Okay. So after adding this dependency, so what we need to do is in our main class, we should enable Swagger. Okay. You can see it is automatically recompiling. Okay. So I'm just enabling Swagger 2. So this we need to do. Then apart from this, we should create one more configurable bean actually. So I can show you the bean. So Spring Fox config. Okay. Here we should configure a bean actually. I can show you what is the bean is that. So docket bean actually. So what is the main use of Docker Bean is it will select, it will handle that requests, and it will handle the all request handlers like whatever the REST APIs we have in our application, and those paths actually it automatically detects and it automatically shows in the UI. That is the main advantage of this Docket actually in the Swagger. So this configuration we should enable it. So this one thing, and in the main file we should enable the Swagger 2 annotation. We should add this. These are the things we should do for Swagger 2 enablement. So let me restart this or rebuild this because I just enabled Maven dependencies. Okay, so now let me start the server. Okay, so server is started now. So normally how we can access Swagger UI is, so this is our like our port, and this is my API Swagger UI. If I use Swagger UI, so you can automatically see here, right? So this is our application API documentation. Okay, so here you can see movie REST control. This is our controller, right? REST controller. If I click here, you can see all the REST methods it will populate. So in the welcome, if I click try it out, right, it automatically gives the response here. So this is how we can easily test our REST methods. Right, insert movie. If you try it out, these like let me copy the JSON. So you can give 3. Okay. Now if I click this, execute this, so movie inserted successfully. And if I give this ID in like let me go here get movies. Let me try this. It will give you list of movies, right? This is the movie we have inserted now. This is in memory. Okay, whenever you are stopping the server, right, it automatically removes the existing data. Okay, again because we are doing drop, first we are dropping when we are starting the application, right? If we see in our schema.sql, so we are drop table we are doing, so that's why it will drop the table, then again it will create. So that's why we don't see the earlier data actually. Okay, so this is how we can enable Swagger also. Okay, if anything I missed, let me know in the comments. I can maybe try to reply to those comments. This is what I wanted to show you guys today, and we'll see the test case creations for the service classes and controllers in my upcoming videos. Okay, thanks for watching this video, guys. Thank you.